Welcome back to episode 14 of Not For Long Media. This is the Not For Long podcast. I am your host, Colin Thompson. I'm here with Justin Ayers. Justin Ayers, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, man, it's good to see you again. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. We have a really special guest today, someone who I get to work with and really have learned a ton from with Elevate Sports Marketing, the marketing company I'm able to work with. And I met her. I grew up watching her and was a fan, and then be able to work with her. She's unbelievably brilliant, has helped me so much with my stuff. And that's Leslie Goodell. She's the voice of Comcast Sportsnet for those Philly folks that know of Comcast Sportsnet in Philly. Leslie Goodell, she's the first female sportscaster in Philadelphia. She's a journalist, entrepreneur, nonprofit founder in Kendall's Crusade, which is an unbelievable foundation started after her daughter had a stroke. She's from Cali and has some unbelievable stories of the old, Dodgers and Kings and Lakers. She's a UCLA grad who walked onto the crew team there. And she finds her way in Philly. And like we talked about on there, she's spent time in Philly during the heyday, the Eagles with McNabb and the NFC championships with Andy Reid and T.O., and then the Sixers with Allen Iverson and the Phillies and Pat Croce and part of that Allen Iverson crew that had a lot of entertainment that I'm sure the media and radio was really happy about. And then you have your Phillies who Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Jason Worth, Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay. The list goes on and on of great Phillies that were there. Obviously a World Series championship, followed by, a loss in the World Series the year following. So she was there for the heyday, and she's got some unbelievable stories, great insight, and someone I really respect and have learned a ton from on a professional level, but really have a ton of respect for, a great person. So episode 14, Leslie Goodell, we are thrilled to have her. But first, before we get into anything of this just in, I want to talk a little bit about a few of our sponsors that mean a lot to me. At Not For Long Media. Wealth Advisory Services, if you don't know them, you should. They provide a customized approach to managing all levels of wealth. Almost 100 years of experience amongst their team in financial planning. Paul, Dave, Mike, Ann, Scott, Karen, and Kelly, they just so easy to work with. They're just great people located in Doylestown, Bucks County. They're all local. They all went to school in the area. And they're just great people to talk to, awesome sounding boards, and someone I really enjoyed working with. Live life on your terms. Wealth Advisory Services has an experience you can trust. So thanks to Paul and Dave. We really enjoy having you guys be a part of our podcast. The original Fudge Kitchen, celebrating 50 years of business. That's fantastic. 50 years. Maybe our podcast will last 50 years, Justin. So congrats to them. It's fantastic. They're a staple of the Jersey Shore. And really across the country because it can be shipped anywhere, but everyone gifts the Fudge Kitchen boxes full of that delicious fudge over the holidays and for birthdays and for whatever, just because you're a good friend and you want to send somebody some fudge. I brought a bunch of fudge down here to all the Panthers players and coaches, and they are loving it. They really are. So it's the perfect gift for everyone. Check out fudgekitchens.com for more details. And then finally, Cape May Brewing Company, one of our newest sponsors. I just absolutely loved our trip. Ryan and I going to see the qualified captain who's going to be coming on the podcast here soon. That's Aaron, who started that business, and he paired with them to create the beer, the Boat Ram Champ. That's my favorite beer, and was able to have some of this weekend. It was great. So Cape May Brewing Company, check them out this weekend, Memorial Day in Cape May, May 28th to the 31st, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. They're celebrating 10 years of brewing, and they're going to do a 10 beer series of beers that they're all going to release to celebrate the 10 years that they've been in business, which is just really cool. They're doing a big Memorial Day party this weekend, and they're just great people over there with delicious beer, and they have seltzers. They have everything for everybody. You can buy them in Eastern Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, and Delaware. So thank you to our sponsors. We really appreciate your support. So we're going to send it over to Justin in this Just In segment.
All right. This Just In, episode 14 edition. We have a couple topics. One big one for all those golf fans out there. Phil Mickelson, 50 years, 11 months, 7 days old. Phil became the oldest golfer to ever win a major tournament. This was his first win, first major since 2013, his first PGA Championship win since 2005. He's been golfing forever. And I saw this stat and I thought it was really cool. His odds at the beginning of the tournament to win were plus 20,000. That he had a less than 0.5% chance to win the tournament. So, and I think I saw somebody put $2 to win and they won 800 on old Lefty there. And there are actually better odds that the Super Bowl this year will be the Lions versus the Jets than at the beginning of the tournament than people thought that Phil was going to win the PGA. So shout out Lefty. I saw the highlights. I didn't watch it live. I was too busy, watching all my DC sports teams lose. But Colin, did you check out any of old Lefty?
So I caught the last 3 holes. I was traveling a little bit yesterday, coming back down to Charlotte, and unbelievable. I was curious of why it was that crazy. I probably didn't understand the magnitude of everything, but shout out to Phil, 50 years old, wins a major. Jim Nantz was talking about, where does he stand now when it comes to the greatest golfers of all time? Because he did it at such an older age, and he's won a ton, obviously, in his prime. He's on the back end of that, if not out of it, obviously. But I was blown away by the crowds, people chasing him. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I have dabbled in golf at times when it comes to watching. Sometimes I'll watch it 3 straight weeks. Sometimes I just got a lot going on and there's other sports on. I'm not watching it. But to see the people grabbing at him, running behind him, chanting Phil, going crazy was so impressive to see, so cool to see, and an extremely challenging course from what I hear. So congrats to Phil. The lefty. I'm a lefty as well in the course, so I've always been a Phil fan. He's got the swagger. He drops bombs. He's got the big calves. He wears the shades. He's got the dad bod going. Did you see he fasts once a week for a day and a half?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yep. I read that today. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right thing. I don't suggest that for anybody. Please talk to your dietitian. Don't just do that to do that. Obviously, he's got it prepared and planned, and he's a professional athlete and has the finances to do so at a high level, and it's worked. But yeah, shout out to Phil, man. He's got the swagger, he's got the juice, and just to see all the golfers as he was walking off, giving him hugs and respect, the tweets, the interaction with him and his wife through the phone, just seems like a great guy, family man, and beloved by his peers, which really at the end of the day, that's really what's matter, the respect from your peers, at least to me. So congrats to Phil.
I was following my guy Brooks Koepka because Koepka was hot on his heels the entire final round there. I heard after that Koepka was complaining that, you brought up the crowds. It was awesome to see all those people back outside again. Just, sports were back, all that stuff. But Brooks was saying that some of the crowds, they were taking shots at his surgically repaired knee. I guess you have to walk through all the crowds of people, and some people were trying to poke at him a little bit. So that wasn't great, but yeah, I love the shot of Phil just, sinking that last putt and, just the whole place going crazy. And he said he was inspired by Tom Brady, which is kind of fun. Little NFL tie-in.
There you go. The NFL is always staying current. I'm sure that was on the front page of NFL Network today.
It was. All right. And so I have one more thing. The NHL, the Cap season ended. We could talk about it.
It did? It did?
Yeah. 3-1 loss at the hands of the Boston Bruins. It was a mess. It wasn't even competitive. And it hurts my heart because there's a lot of uncertainty heading into the off season. A couple things, NHL expansion draft, which is kind of relevant to everybody who's a hockey fan. Seattle Kraken are getting ready to be grabbing some of your best players. So keep an eye out for that.
The Kraken have to take one player from every team.
That's going to suck so bad.
Yep. And there's a lot of, you have to protect X amount of skaters. Some guys on rookie contracts aren't protected. They are protected. So it's going to be very interesting. And I think it's great. The expansion draft's fun. I mean, Vegas Golden Knights went to the final their first year, and season tickets are already sold out in Seattle. So for the Caps, the stars showed up for the Bruins. I mean, Pasta is unbelievable. Pasternak and I think they call the line the perfection line or the perfect line or whatever it is, but they're loaded. Bergeron scores late and really just impressive, that team, and Rask and Chara. I know Char's a Bruin for life, and he'll be a Bruin, go in the Hall of Fame as a Bruin, but that's got to sting. That's got to sting. Seeing that C used to wear, that captaincy used to wear for the Bruins, come down and score. I think while he was on the ice in Bergeron and really seal the game. So, yeah, it's good to see the Caps lose. As a Flyers fan, I've always supported them. I like watching Ovi. I like watching Backstrom and their players, like I've said. But I just think the prime's done there. That team was loaded with Holtby and with Trotz, and not saying they can't do it anymore, but they had the depth to do it. And I don't know now if it's the same. I know the window's short with Ovi, anything's possible, but that team was really good. Oshie's up for contract. So just come to Philly, Oshie would be all. We'd love to have you.
Flyers fans can take a little solace in the fact that they contributed to the Capitals' loss, because the Flyers beat the Caps earlier this month in a game that the Caps really should have won. That would have given the Caps first place. That would mean they would play the New York Islanders in the first round instead of Boston, which would have been a better matchup for them. And so, yeah, Philly shout out. You kind of helped the Caps seal the fate there. And now we get to see Ovi's contract. So it'd be great.
So Ovi's up for one as well.
Yeah, this is the end of his 13-year deal he signed, and he's a free agent. And he's
did he really sign a 13-year deal?
Yeah, back in like 2008.
He signed a 13-year deal.
I loved it. It was the best contract in all of sports. But he negotiates his own contracts, and which is just bananas. Can you imagine, like, Colin, if you had to negotiate your own contracts, knowing all the legal jargon, could you do that?
I don't know. Listen, where he's at, if I was in his place, absolutely. Very easy. You give me here's my number, and you're giving it to me where I'm walking, and someone else is going to give it to you, right? I want it guaranteed. But if you're in my place, in my current status, which is, right, trying to make the roster and play and contribute and have 2 more years till free agency, that would be very challenging. Very challenging. So, with Ovi, no problem at all. I would say, here's the guarantees. I would say, here's what I want. And I'd also say this. I'm going to take veteran minimum because I have all the money in the world. I've already made tons of money on and off the ice. I'm going to make tons of money when I go back to live in Russia. I would say I'm going to sign for $1 million, whatever the minimum is, and go sign the best players in the world to join this team. That's what I would say. Tom Brady has done it a few different places. I don't understand why guys don't just take it. I know money, right? I'm not going to tell guys to do with their money. But if you got a lot of it, like a lot, 100 million plus, right? The interest off that alone is X, a lot of money. Take minimum and go win another championship. You only got what? Ovi's probably got 2 or 3 years left. 2, 3,
He's
maybe
35. Yeah. And then he said his last season is going to be back in Russia for his, I guess his hometown team. But yeah, they're trying to figure out how many years it's going to be. That's the thing. It's like, how many years do you think he reasonably can play at a high level before he wants to go back and play like the swan song year? So
to me, he's got to take minimum. Ovi, what do you make on that contract?
It was
300 million.
It was like 120 over. Or it was something like that. It was like 10 or 11 a year or something. It wasn't. I guess in NHL terms, it is a little high because the salary cap's kind of low for hockey. But yeah.
No, it's interesting. I mean, we'll see what he does. I'm just saying, does he want another cup? If he signs a big deal and they can't sign guys, he's not going to win another cup. They need more depth. They got to be able to sign Oshie. They got to be able to sign all these guys. They should go get a top free agent. Chara's going to retire probably. You got to fill that void. You probably need more defense to play with Carlson. You're probably going to need another goalie. So I don't know. I sign if you want to stay there, sign for minimum. Mm-hmm. Maybe he goes to like New York, breaks the bank.
I just can't imagine him in a different jersey. But I'm sure your Philly people by now are like, stop it. We get it. We know. I one other hockey thing. Winnipeg Jets series is really fun. I've been watching a lot of Winnipeg Jets hockey now. They late night, late night Winnipeg Jets hockey. I think they're going again tonight on Monday night. So yeah, they came back. They had a 2-0 series lead. They're playing Edmonton, and they were down 3-1, and then they came back and they beat them in overtime, which is cool. So if you're looking for a fun
Yeah.
late night thing to watch, check out the Jets.
This best gift not for long media could give you other than Fudge Kitchen is, and some Cape May Brew and a meeting with Health Advisory Services is watch the NHL playoffs, folks. I've been talking to several people about this. Just turn it on and watch. There's fights. It's like old time hockey with more skill. Guys are scoring high end goals. There's high end saves being made, and there's guys fighting. Fourth line players are becoming extremely relevant. The NHL playoffs is the best. Go on our Twitter too. Check it out. We got a giveaway going on. Retweet us, follow us. We're giving away a pair of gloves signed by me. So, Justin, for Justin Ayers, I'm Colin Thompson. That's episode. This will be episode 14. Leslie Goodell, Philadelphia's, sports legend. She really is. She covered the heyday of Philly sports there that were at the top. Really, we're at the top, including, I didn't mention the Flyers. The Flyers, Lindros years, the LeClaire years, the Recchi years. Some really, really nice years. So Flyers lost in the final, I believe, or one of her last years there. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff. Leslie, thank you so much for coming on. And we really appreciate your support for our sponsors, Wealth Advisory Services, Cape May Brewing Company, and the original Fudge Kitchen. Here is the Leslie Goodell interview.